Reality is, I am so fortunate and blessed to be surrounded by people that are like minded with similar goals, but at the same time come from a different walk, are located in a whole different time zone. But here we are, united as one, trying to tackle, challenges together as a community. Enjoy this. This is the group from the Patreon page. We meet every single week, and it only takes a very low membership of $10 a month. I know it's nothing really, but quite honestly, what really matters the most is, like I said, everyone coming around and then huddling virtually on a Zoom call and going over problems and solutions that they can apply right away. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the Patreon channel. And by the way, you can't do this alone. I learned that the hard way. Take care. Got to hit the record, guys, before we got started. So, there you go. There's a human for you, right? So before I answer Carmel's question, does anyone in the group want to share some information before I jump on to answer Carmel's question? Anyone? I know some of you guys are just getting started, but I don't want to assume. So do any of you guys have any advice for Carmel?
I do. This is Tiffany. Can you hear me?
Tiffany, fire away.
So for me, I have Wix, and I watch your video, David, and I actually followed step by step. I went to Fiverr. I found someone. He created my website. And for me, it was very easy. Like you said, I had someone to create my, what is it called, outro. Okay. So I did my contracts. I added all of that in there. The only thing that I found out when it comes to Wix, I feel like a lot of people don't take the time out to do a lot of research. So what I did a lot of research, and I played around with Wix. But if you go through Fiverr and find someone to create your website, and let you go, you can just go on there and edit it. I think that'll be, because sometimes, I mean, people do it for the convenience, so that way they don't have to be bothered. But it's actually kind of easy in certain areas. But for me, I'm glad I went with Wix. So you go on this website called Fiverr. I think that's what it's called.
I'm familiar.
And so I've had no problems with mine. I've had a lot of people to look at my website. I haven't started yet because I'm going to use Snap It, but I have been so busy doing other things. Like right now, kid you not, I'm outside and I'm working now. But you can't go wrong with Wix. I still have a few questions myself that I want to ask David myself. But if you continue to watch his videos and do your research, I promise you, he will not steer you in the wrong direction.
Do you mind if I check out your website?
My website is,
if you can,
I side chat you.
Okay.
Yeah, do that. Send Carmel the link. So yeah, what Tiffany says is right on the money. So with that being said, earlier before you guys jumped in, we were talking about how doing something for the first time is uncomfortable, but we have to fall in love with that process, because once we acquire that skill and that experience, we become way more valuable as we're walking around, because we are a walking business. We're entrepreneurs, right? So Carmel, you have a couple of options. Just let me share two things with you really quick here, and then we'll get to Tiffany's questions. I want to make sure I get everyone to at least throw out there like at least one question, and then we'll see where it goes from there. So Carmel, with Wix, like Tiffany said, it is pretty user-friendly. They already have existing templates, and it's like you put something and you just pop it in there, whether it's a picture, a video. It's really easy. Now, if you learn how to, I build my own website on Wix. You learn how to build a website on Wix, it's going to be a slow process. You're learning something for the very first time. So if you actually learn that within, let's say, 2 weeks or less, and later on, you can always turn around and charge your cousins, relatives money to build a website for them, because you've acquired a skill. And on top of that, Wix does have really good customer service, customer support. If you're stuck somewhere, you simply just go to the tab where it says help, tell them what areas you're struggling with, and within 3 minutes or so, they'll call you and they'll walk you through certain places where you're stuck. Because I was getting stuck with the automated system. For some reason, it wasn't, I in my mind, I know what I wanted it to do, but for some reason I wasn't setting up correctly within the settings. So that's one thing, Carmel, like you can do it on your own, learn the process, acquire skill. If time is something that you don't have, but you have a little bit of extra money, Fiverr is the way to go, because now your American dollars, your USA dollars are worth a lot more money in a different country, where that individual will work on your Fiverr, on your Wix website, and you hire them through Fiverr as your freelancer, and you just spend a little bit of money and you use that money as leverage, and they're experts when it comes to building these websites, right? So you have them do it. Now, the only thing that I can say is the biggest con of hiring a freelancer through Fiverr is that they have all the control. So if you need something revised or changed, you have to send them a message, and they're in a different time zone. So then you have to wait for that revision to take place. So that's that right there for me. I don't like that part. That's just for me. I like making quick changes on my website when I need to within just a few minutes. So that's just one thing that I wanted to share with you, just so that you can have a perspective of, if you do go the route of hiring a freelancer on Fiverr, it has its benefits, but the turnaround time, of course, is a little different because of the communication in different time zone, Carmel.
Okay.
But yeah,
That makes sense.
ideally, it would be great to set up with Wix, just because you can streamline the whole thing from people going on your website. You're going to have what's called the landing page, where it just shows your business, primarily what you're offering and where you're located. And within that website, you can set up a tab for your photo booth. You can set up another tab for your 360 booth, and you can set up another tab for pricing and booking. So people will look around, hop around your website, and they can book right there and then on your website. I know this sounds like a lot, and you're thinking like, wait, how am I gonna turn that into this thing that you can use your phone and laptop to actually do this on? Don't worry, take it one step at a time. And if you don't have the patience, I don't blame you. Hire someone on Fiverr or freelancer to get that work done for you. Just make sure they have good reviews, and they turn in a lot of jobs, projects done on time. So yeah, I hope that helps, Carmel.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
All right, sweet. So if I can just have, there you go. Tiffany, you said you have a question. Let's get at least one of your questions answered, and then we'll circle back, guys, just to make sure that everyone an opportunity to put a question out here.
I just have a quick question. Okay, so I know in the contract, you did step by step everything that you did, but what about like in the contract do we put when it comes to their guests being intoxicated and get injured? I know that we have insurance. We go to them, we get the insurance, but where do we like kind of outline in the contract that part? We're not responsible if your guest is intoxicated. Do we put that in the contract, or do we don't put that in there?
Great question. That's something that I would put on the contract. In fact, I'm glad you bring that up, because on the new contract that I have uploaded on Wix, it's a more revised, concise contract. And quite honestly, that is one line that I should include, and I didn't include it to keep the contract more concise. But it would be said, it's definitely something that I should actually get done today, is just put that sentence in. And it would go a little bit somewhere along the lines where, intoxicated guests on our platform will not be tolerated. And we can add addition to that, like, or if any of our staff members feel harassed by an intoxicated guest, we will leave with absolutely no refund, and so on and so forth. So you can word all of that in 2 sentences. And if you have a hard time kind of like putting it together, let ChatGPT do that for you. So just tell ChatGPT, hey, I want to put all this information and cram it into 2 sentences. That way we can use it in our contract. And just remember, guys, the contract that I have online could be revised. So you guys can just edit it and then spit out a master copy that you guys will use moving forward, Tiffany.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, because every now and then, guys, that's where we're at. We're at parties all the time. And at weddings, people tend to get wasted. I don't know what it is, but I don't blame them. I guess everyone wants to have a good time. I wouldn't get wasted in that fashion. But everyone, I would say, hard, play hard. Anyways, we're going to circle back to Demetrius, guys. We'll just kind of keep this in rotation. Demetrius, from the conversation, brother, do you have any new questions that sparked up?
Not at the moment.
All right, Chief. What about you, Eric?
Yeah, I had a question. I know the last time one of your videos we set up the automation, you were helping us out with that. I was curious to find out what about like travel fee? Do you add travel fee after a certain amount of miles, and how do you do that if your system is all automated?
So every time I want to add something to my service or my fees, I always put myself in the consumer side. I always imagine myself going through the process of booking. This is why I'm so sensitive when I go to restaurants, because when I walk into a restaurant, I'm about to put money down. I'm getting like a host with an attitude, and I'm thinking like, okay, maybe that's just her personality, but maybe it's I shouldn't take it personally, even though I'm already hangry, for one part, and two, I'm gonna be spending money and dropping money at that restaurant when I could have been eating in my house in the comfort of my kitchen. But the fact is, I wanted to go out, put a little money in the economy, also not have to deal with dirty dishes. So I'm at a restaurant, and so if the host is being rude, all right, we proceed throughout the stay, and then she's just very dry throughout the whole entire time. I'm in my mind, I'm wondering, is this wasn't the business owner's intent? I'm sure the business owner of this restaurant wants you to have an incredible experience from the walking in to the eating to the checking out. And so this employee is kind of like is definitely impeding on that glow that the owner wanted you to experience as a consumer. So to answer your question, Eric, for me, I would not include a travel fee. And the reason why is because you want to add simplicity to the checkout, and you want to add simplicity for yourself. Because say, for example, you said it, no, David, I disagree with you. I would like to get compensated for my travel fee, right? And this is why I love having these conversations with you guys, because it's an open conversation where everyone's philosophy is a little different. Then I would think, Eric, that you creating a little bit more work for yourself, because now you have to calculate miles. Right? Now you have to calculate miles, and then you have to submit that calculation to your client, unless you find a system that does it automatically for you, which I think nowadays probably exists. But the reason I say I wouldn't include it, I would just include everything in the packages, because we already know our radius and how far we're serving out. Meaning, like for me, I wouldn't drive 2 hours out from where I reside to go do a 2-hour event. I maybe would consider it, and this is a maybe, Eric, if it was a 4-hour event, because I'll be out there. It's a 2-hour drive, but I'm making $1,000. It's like a 4-hour round trip. So still, I would be on the fence about it. But I guess to answer your question is, just try to make it as simple as possible for people to book and understand your booking process. So when someone messages me and say, hey, how much for X, Y, and Z, I always respond either through phone or text messages, depending on what their style is, because some folks, when they're ready to spend a few $100s, they want to get their answers, questions. They don't want to assume. So I always tell them, hey, it's only $444 or $555 for 2 hours. There are no upcharges. There are no hidden fees. There's no taxes. It's just that out the door. And so if I was on the receiving end, I'd be like, whew, like I don't have to worry about them charging me a fee for the setup. I don't have to worry about X, Y, and Z. So yeah, Eric, I know this is a long answer, but the reason I'm making it this long is because I'm really trying to put you in a state of the consumer end as far as how that sits with them if they needed to pay extra for that travel fee. Here's one last thing, Eric. Sorry to cut you off, brother. I've had people contact me from far out over the mountain. And that sucks because they have no one out there. It's like literally mountain folk, right up there. And I think to myself, shit, they're way out there, but there's no one else out there that, or I can't find anyone to contract or hire to go do the event. And in that case, this is what I would do, Eric. I tell them, look, we don't cover that. That's out of our serving territory. That's out of our radius. However, we would be willing to provide you with that service if you book for a minimum of 3 hours. So if they had in mind 2 hours, and we say if you book for a minimum of 3 hours, and that time being there is going to compensate for that extra. Do you get what I'm saying, Eric? You're making more money for that from that. Yeah, brother. That's the way that I would combat that.
Yeah, and I was just gonna mention about one of the other videos that you had on this Patreon about partnering up with the other boothers. So if there's somebody like 2 hours away from me and they want to book, it might be better for me to just find somebody out there to partner up with and get a finder's fee or something.
Mm-hmm. Do the finder's fee. It's low risk. You do the finder's fee. You have your contractor or the person you're working with pay you the finder's fee when the client puts down the deposit with them. And all you did, like I said, you just connected two parties together and got rewarded for it. And I want everyone to put that into practice sooner or later. I don't want you guys to get caught up in the high of like, yeah, I'm booked back to back, and now you're hustling back to back. And guess what happens after about 2, maybe 3 months? You're burned out. So now you're going out there There's a lot more money in your bank account now, but you're going out there with a different sense of energy. Different mentality. You're going out there burned out. You won't be glowing. You won't be enthusiastic because you're burned out. And remember, you are your business, and you brought it upon yourself because you guys didn't take a moment to say, let me share the pie with someone else. Let me start hiring employees so that I can actually grow my business. And here's the thing, guys, it's better to grow your business than just to run your business. So for example, I was in the garage last night and I have these bins of props. And what I do is I go through inventory and I set up every bin. I clean the glasses. I sanitize the wearables. I throw them in the washer. So when my contractors are ready to go out, I have these prop bins aside for them, ready to go. And they just take off. I'm making less money per event, but I'm making money no matter what. And so that's great because now my business can actually grow. It's not just me going out there anymore. And it's great this way because they make money, I make money. My business is not strictly just relying on me to be out there physically. And that's how you actually grow a business and you become an actual business owner and not just a technician of your business, guys. But thanks for sparking up that question there, Eric. Carmel, what's on your mind?
So you mentioned that you have contractors. How did you go about finding trustworthy contractors?
So when I started getting really busy, I started reaching out to just people in my area that have an existing photo booth business. And so I knew that if I did a better job at marketing, I would get a bigger piece of the pie. I would get more inquiries. And that's exactly the result. And so what I did is I started reaching out to them. And it's funny because sometimes they'll reach out to you. And I think people reached out to me probably because of social media and the YouTube. And they're like, what the heck? This guy's like only a few miles away from me. So they offered to collaborate with me. But for the most part, for you guys, I know a lot of you guys are not going to go out there and start a new YouTube channel and do everything I did unless you want to, because I think that's pretty cool. When you reach out to them, you introduce yourself and you let them know how you would like to grow with them. And that way they don't see you as a threat, but they see you as a lead generator, a person that can help them grow their business. And that's the way I would do it, Carmel. I would call around and ask them if they like to do business with you so you guys can grow together. So mention the word growth and business together. You don't want to come off as like, hey, I'm very competitive and I'm going to be busier than you are. Do you want to work for me? You don't want to, you want to be careful how you frame it, because I think as business owners, we do have an ego. That's why we're business owners. We don't like being told what to do. But so you got to be careful how you word it, and then be careful on how you nourish that relationship. So to answer your question, just call the folks that are within your proximity and even further out, just in case you start getting business and inquiries from past 30 minutes away from where you're located. That's how I would go about it. Really quick. And then as far as the compensation goes, at one point I was making like $140 per finder's fee, but because it's become competitive and rates have dropped, right now I'm only charging a $100 finder's fee, guys. I wanted to put that out there just to kind of give you an idea of how much money I'm making when I get someone out there. Cool. Tiffany, you still on?
I'm sorry, I keep trying to hit it, but it wasn't allowing me to unmute it. But yes, I'm still here.
All right, sweet. So yeah, we got Carmel's question. And so Tiffany, do you have another question we can get answered?
Let's see. I actually do have more questions. I'm trying to think. Let's see. Okay, so this is my hours. My price is set in. Do you think that's okay? Because like the market here, it's people out here doing $175, but I'm not doing $175. I know my I know my craft. Can you hear me?
You're breaking up.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you a little better now.
I'm sorry, I was in the garage. I was saying that here in Augusta, some of the other people, their prices for 2 hours is $150, $175, but I'm not doing it because I'm noticing that they have just the booth there and they're charging $175. And so, like me, what I have my retractable banner, and all of the other stuff, I just feel like if I'm doing $175, gas here is $3.45. I'm cutting myself. If I needed somebody to help me, it's a lot that's coming with it. That's why I'm saying I haven't started yet, because I'm doing my research, taking my time, and just making sure I got what I need. like my retractable banner just came,
Hmm.
and so I got the whole work. You see, I've done everything. Trust me, I watch you. I pay attention. But just like I have all the different stanchions. I have a lot of stuff. I don't want to sell myself short, and everybody, you're too high. Well, you're not for me. And I'm not going on price. How do you think about it? What do you feel about that?
Oh, can I say something? I think based off of what you've shown us, it seems like
Mm-hmm.
you're creating an experience which is probably going to set you apart from everyone else. And that's
Everyone else.
they want they
Mm-hmm.
want to have a good experience, not just, oh, I took a picture and that's that. But people want to be able to say, like, I was on a photo booth. I went to Tiffany's
Yep.
360 photo booth and I had the time of my life. She created a really good experience while I was at such and such event. Like, what got us into it
Yep.
was my father-in-law kept telling us, I was on a 360 photo booth, a 360 photo booth, and he doesn't go on these type of things. But when he was telling
Yeah.
us about his time that he had on it, I was like, oh, let me look up what this is. And it literally is, you're creating a fun experience. So they might be charging low, but people might not be having the best experience. So based off of what you've shown us and all the props and stuff that you have, it does look like you're creating a memorable and fun experience for people.
And that's what I want to do. Because if I can't do that, then I don't want to do it at all. So when I give 100. And that's what I would expect if I go to a venue, any type of party. Hey, I want them to go out the way to make sure that all my guests says, wow. So, but yeah, that's what I wanted to say, because I'm not gonna settle less when it comes to my photo business. I'm not lowering my prices for anybody. Oh well, go to the next person. It's just that simple.
Tiffany, so that's a real challenge right now. And I think some of us in this group will start feeling it sooner or later, just depending on where you guys reside. So there's just different ways of looking at it, Tiffany. One way is we have to be sensitive to the demand and the customer's needs. And you're absolutely right. You definitely want to wow the client. You want to wow the customer. That's a solid point. You want repeat clients. The way you do that is you provide a memorable experience. So many memorable moments within that booking that you have repeat clients throughout the year. They're going to refer you word of mouth, and you're going to have repeat clients. And all of a sudden you have, every year that goes by, that client's next birthday, next celebration, let's reach out to Tiffany. That was really enjoyable. However, you'll never be able to provide them with that experience if you can't get them to book you. So if you right now are in a very competitive area, I would say try to not so much drop your prices as low as they drop their prices, but try to gauge to see how much more you can make. Even though, if to me, in your, like, it sounds like it's not be worth my time, David. But what I would like for you to practice, Tiffany, is going out there. And even though you're not making exactly right off the bat how much you ideally would like to make, because quite honestly, at one point I was making $700 for every event, for every 2-hour event, $700. Within 1 year, I had to reduce that to $555. And I can like just say like, no, this isn't worth it anymore. But quite honestly, that adds up throughout the year. And if you, Tiffany, can actually land a few bookings at a lower rate, what that's going to allow you to do is everything that you are using, everything that you invested in, you're going to capture it on video. You're going to have promotional content. That's when you can tell the client, I don't know what you've seen online, but this is my setup. And when they see your setup in actual motion, then they'll say like, I want that experience. But if you just tell them over the phone, we have this and this, and they're trying to imagine it, they might not have a rich imagination. So what I would like you to do is just create great content around your setup so that you can send them that video when they do an inquiry and say like, this is the difference between me and the guy that's offering you this rate. This is what I bring to the table. I'm not just renting out a photo booth. I am providing an atmosphere and the experience for you and your guests to have throughout the night, not just a 360 booth rental. And that's how I'm winning on my end, is That's why I could create these videos that show the whole thing, not just the 360 booth in motion, or not just the video it creates, but the whole entire setup. Then that's Tiffany, when you get to a point where those people start booking, it creates a snowball effect. Then you can gradually bump up your price to where you feel comfortable. But I do want you to get exposure in the beginning, just so that you can have that content that you're going to need to show off your actual setup and sell people on, I want that experience.
What about if I go down and drop 100? So 250.
This is definitely an area where, because you're in a unique area and you have unique competitors, to go through you'd have to like basically go through the process yourself. Out here, what I was doing is I was calling the people closest to me, and I would ask them, hey, how much are you charging right now for a 2-hour? And they were like $400, $420. And then I'm like, okay, I was getting an idea, right? I was doing, and then I said, oh, well, man, I'm at like $6.99 and it's slowing down. And I would see them, for example, on Instagram, they were like posting stuff every week. And I'm wondering, like, this goes back to us doing our research as business owners, realize like they're being booked though. It seems like every week. And that's because they were a lot cheaper than I was. And then I had to get off my high horse and tell myself, David, the game has changed. And even though you bring a great presentation, people are right now, they're price sensitive. So what I do, I dropped it, and I dropped it again. Now I'm at $555. And guys, I'm glad we're having this conversation, because it just shows that anything that's profitable and makes money doesn't last forever. We have to continue to evolve. And this is why, guys, I'm focusing now on expansion, so that the photo booth eventually would be just a service included within my whole entire business. And my whole business doesn't just revolve around a photo booth. So yeah, guys, it's getting competitive. And this is why I'm slowly transitioning into start promoting other items that our competition doesn't have yet. So we're not stuck right now in the competitors' realm. We're not on the battlefield. And I guess what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to escape the competition. Tiffany right now, for example, she's basically expressing the same frustration that I was going through, is like, how did these people drop the market value of this service so fast? And it is what it is, guys. We just have to roll with the punches.
If I could add something, Tiffany, what I did is I removed, like, for example, I started out with like cold sparks. I removed those. I made those an add-on. The TV, made that an add-on. So my price dropped, and it seemed like it dropped, but really I'm still my same price, but I won't bring all this extra stuff, unless they want that. And then that's when I go back to my target.
Thank you.
That's beautiful. What Eric said, amazing information. That's exactly what I started doing, is I started cutting down on some of the effects, including the cold sparks. If you guys go on my website, I removed them from the 360 booth service. Causes more cost, longer time to set up and take down. So if you can, and this goes back to what I said a while back, is when you guys set up your presentation, set it up to a point where you guys can duplicate it very easily. So when you get double bookings, you have the right amount of props, you have the right amount of tables, and so on and so forth. If you guys have a humongous presentation and you get booked twice, people are expecting all of that. And you're like, wait a minute, I don't have 2 tripods. I don't have 2 TVs. I only have 1 iPad journey station. So yeah, that's a good point that Eric brought up. But yeah, guys, if I know you guys that live busy lives, but these type of conversations really get us thinking. And so whenever you guys have a question or something stands out to you, please put it on the Patreon page. Like I want to get more activity within the Patreon page, because this is why I opened up the Patreon pages, so that we can really dive into some of these things, but at the same time, get them from different sides, from different walks, because some people right here are barely getting started. Some folks probably have like at least 20 events under their belt already. But everyone, like I said, any questions you guys bring are gonna be appreciated, because it's gonna bring about answers. So before I leave, I just want to thank everyone for showing up. I know we're in different time zones, but thank you for showing up. I'm trying to do this on Sundays. They actually have an event this evening. I'm gonna go rock this one out myself. I realize when I go a while without actually going to an event, and then I come back refreshed, and I feel like a better hype man versus trying to do every event myself every single weekend. Just throwing that out there. But yeah, thank you so much for your support, guys. On the 17th, I'm going to be announcing the winner, because I'm going to be giving out prizes, as you guys already know, every single month. So on the 17th of this month, I'm going to be announcing the winner, and I am going to be giving out an audio guest book. The reason I decided to give out an audio guest book this month is because I want to add more value to your business. This is something that if you guys utilize and it brings in a couple $100, then I think this is an awesome gift for the first time around. And then next month and the month after that, I'll just continue giving out prizes that I feel like are going to be bringing different types of values to your businesses. But other than that, guys, this is going to be just a temporary goodbye. I wish everyone right here, summon the energy to do things, like I said, that are make you uncomfortable or you're not looking forward to, and just try to go bury your procrastination. We get a lot of we make up a lot of excuses on why we shouldn't do the next best thing, and sometimes it comes from fear, doubt, lack of confidence. But you guys made it this far, and you guys can look back now and say everything has occurred to this point and has manifested because I got out of my comfort zone, and it feels good too. So yeah, guys, I guess it's pretty much wraps it up for today. And I'm just grateful for you guys. Put it that way. Just grateful to have like a cool little group, because sometimes I talk to other people in my family and I feel like I'm talking and they're not listening. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I know that feeling.
They're like,
Thank you,
man.
David. Appreciate it.
Yeah, sweet, man. Hey, Demetrius, thanks for showing up, man. Eric,
No problem, man.
thank you, Eric, for sharing some of that insight. You brought up some good points, man. I'm glad to have you here in the community contributing, brother. Thank you, Eric.
Anything I can help. You've been a lot of help, so anything I can help, I'm here.
Thank you. And Carmel, welcome.
Appreciate you.
For sure. Welcome to the squad, Carmel. Like it's you're not doing this alone. You're not doing this completely alone. We've been through what you're going through right now. And like I said, it's a process. Fall in love with the process, fall in love with yourself as an entrepreneur, and everything's gonna be all right. We just gotta keep pushing, all right?
Thank you. Thank
Absolutely.
you so much.
And Tiffany, you have a lot of energy. You're gonna kill it. Just work on that strategy, and then see where it goes from there, because that's what we have to do. We constantly have to like test things out and see what's working and what areas we need to like pivot. So just keep it up, and then I look forward to basically how you're dealing with this challenge. I look forward to kind of hearing like what you finally started doing and what's working for you. And so I hope you make it to a next week call as well.
Thank you.
All right, guys, stay blessed. Take care. I'll see you guys next week.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
Bye, have a week.
Thank you, guys. Hey, Carolyn.
My God, how you doing, David?
Hey, I'm doing good, brother. So we're just wrapping it up. The good news is that I actually got to record most of this session. So we basically covered we freestyled it today. We had everyone ask a question, right? And then we provided answers, and then we did a second round of questions. So some of these questions might help you as far as like what you're going through right now. But let's just quick 5 minutes, brother. What's the deal with you right now, man? Are you facing some type of challenge right now that maybe you feel that I can help you out with?
Yeah, I would say like try to get more customers, which is what everybody is dealing right now, and try to grow my business on the photo booth. So I've been doing this for, I would say 3-4 years, the photo booth, and photography I've been doing for 7 years.
Okay.
So I kind of have a quite experience, but I've been following you for a while, and I see the value and what you're providing. So that's why I decided to join, the group. I like the fact that you can be able to help me with the rating. I did see value in that, and keywords and everything that you share. I'm trying to apply to my business as well.
Very cool. So you have two businesses, one that you've been doing for a while, photography, and then you decided to add a photo booth to the photography business. Yes.
Correct.
Yeah. So for the photo, I can help somewhat with the photography. I'm not there yet, but I do know how you can rank and how you can bring in more leads. But do you have two separate Google profiles for both of your businesses?
Correct. Yes, sir.
In your Google profile, why don't you do this? Why don't you message me your Google profiles, on the Patreon page, message me the link to both of your Google profiles. I want to run a scan on both of them. And then when I run a scan on both of them, I can see your competitors and what keywords are working out best for you. Let's do that because I want to dive deep into where you're at, what your competition is, and how you can generate more leads. And of course, there's other little things that are going to matter. For example, what your competition is charging, right? How competitive your area is and how much
Correct.
bookings they might be getting in comparison to you. Because we had a discussion today about
Correct.
some people being in an area where like we don't want to lower our prices like them because we value our time, we value our service. So,
Correct.
later on when you watch this video, we went over how you can combat that given the season. So let's work on that for now. And then next week, try to make it in when the group chat starts, Carolyn. I think it's just set up an alarm or something. That way, when everyone's already going, because here's the thing, people were asking questions and some of the members actually had answers that were unique because they've been in unique situations and they are also coming from a different area of business with a different state of mind. So this is why it's so important to have everyone come in as a community. But
yes, sir.
If you can share that information with me, both your Google profiles, send me that in the Patreon page through a message. I'll look them up and then we'll go over it together. So let's do that, Carolyn.
I think I already did it.
You send them to me?
I send it to the chat right now.
Oh, you sent it to the chat. Hold on. No. So do this. When you go into your Google profile, Google Maps, copy and paste the URL and send it through a message.
Okay. I do have that.
Yeah, send it on the Patreon page because I got to get going. But I'm gonna look.
Okay.
I'm gonna look into it during the week. So I'll be following up on that message that you send me. So do that for me. Am I pronouncing your name correctly, brother?
You know what? I go by Jose.
Jose?
Because I go by Jose. It's a long story, my name, so it's been for my benefit because when I start my business, I started as a Jose and nobody hired me. So when I start using Carolyn, it's funny. I know.
Jose, that right there, my friend, would have been so cool if you would have shared that in the group. It's like, you're a genius, man. You're a genius.
So when I start using the Carolyn, actually, I got lucky because my immigration lawyer took my case because of my name as well, because he thought I was from Russia. After like 30 something years, I find out that my name is like a Russian last name. So he took my case, and then when he looked at me, he thought I was Mexican, and he's like, "Wait a minute."
Dude,
it's crazy. Like yesterday, I was watching one of your videos, and you say, they were gonna go and eat with your family. You're from Mexico. I'm like, wait a minute, this guy's from Mexico.
Yeah, now Mexican. Yeah, it's interesting, but yeah, we're gonna wrap it up for now, Carolyn. It was nice to actually meet you at least over the video for today.
Yeah, thank you.
But enjoy the rest of your Sunday, brother. I'll see you next week. Okay.
Thank you, buddy.
When you have time, please send me that information.
I'm gonna send it right away. Thank you.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Bye now.
Take care.